Warning. If you haven't seen who wins the Alola Pokemon League in the anime yet, or haven't seen the episodes of Rick and Morty, Pickle Rick, or The Old Man and the Seat, we might be talking about them a little bit here.
So why don't I just do a whole thing on the Pokemon, League? Do you want to discuss this in depth?
No, I have not watched the Pokemon.
I've
not completely watched through any of the Pokemon animes.
Okay, fine. I'll save it because you know how it ends pretty much, right? At least, so I can...
Ash finally wins?
Yeah, that was, the thing that ticked me off.
Oh, no.
The mic is sliding down. The mic doesn't want to hear about this. Okay, temporarily fixed. Now then. Point is, I was watching this, religiously. I thought you went higher, so that I had to... You know what? Whatever. So, I think, the Pokemon episodes air in Japan on, Saturday. And then the site that I was watching on, it would have a sub for me on, Sunday. So, I knew, next episode, it's gonna be, it's gonna be the final thing, right? The final match. Who wins the Pokemon? All of them. And, Ash was one of the people competing. And so, I go on Sunday night. After I avoided, social media, I don't even think I did, YouTube that day. Because I knew somebody was gonna be like, this person wins the Pokemon League! Wow, you didn't have a chance to look yet! So Sunday comes, and it's not there. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Well, I don't know how long this is gonna take. So Monday, I get on social media, a little bit, and then somebody's, right on Twitter. And I should mention, this happened in, October or November. The frickin', whatchamacallit, the dub was not going to come out in America until January, 2 or 3 months later, okay? So, this should be considered major spoilers.
That was very close. I thought it had left.
But yeah, so this happens. And, right on Twitter, somebody's like, Ash finally wins the Pokemon League after 20 years! And it's like, wow, that's great. I haven't had the chance to see it yet. I've been really looking forward to it. And, literally...
Is that death?
Oops! Oh, no! Okay, I'm gonna get a little quiet here, because I need to freaking focus.
Is this a secret?
Yeah, it's The Wire. But yeah, so, and then
restart
everybody's
now?
posting on it, and, the one that really disappointed me was, I watched, Philip DeFranco, every time he posts. That day I'm, watching him, and he's like, and today in Awesome, this, and this, and Ash Ketchum, after, 20 years, finally wins, the Pokemon League. I've never cared so much about who won a contest that was scripted before. Or he said something like that, and I'm just like, are you freaking serious, Phil?
You've betrayed my trust.
Well, I had already, he didn't spoil it for me because I'd already, seen all the posts. And, narratively, I'll say that he should have won. It just made the most sense. But that's what I thought about X and Y's Pokemon League. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And, they did do, the final bout, well enough where there were points I'm like, well, I could see him conceivably, losing this, right? So it would have been, at least a little exciting to see. And instead, they're just like, don't speak Japanese?
Uh-oh.
You gotta be...
You were not looking at the screen, and I knew what was coming.
That's just bullcrap. There's been several times, they're, so well designed, and yet there's just, these little things where it's just well, this is made of poop. But yeah, pretty much, I don't know what people were, I think what it was is, a lot of people who were reporting on it were nobody still watches this show 20 years later, but this is a neat little tidbit, right? But yeah, I don't know, honestly, I don't think Sun and Moon, though, was all that well received. A lot
the
of
games or the anime?
Both, actually. I loved both of them. like, they both might be my favoritist. I thought I was over far enough, but you know what? Hey, I guess I did that this time.
I'd say I like the games.
But
Would
not...
I put them over halfway on the favorite list? No.
I like 2, 4, 6, and 7. Those are my standouts. And it's hard to order them.
My favorites are 2, 5, and 4. Although apparently 5 is like really divisive now.
Oh, really? I thought, like, I know back in the day it was. I thought at this point everybody was, like, finally, like, they were doing the GameCube thing.
Oh, I don't think people care at this point too much anymore about it, but like...
But yeah, like, people, I remember seeing, like, I think it was around when Sword and Shield came out because people were, like, upset and they're like, why can't you do a good game like, you know, like Black and White? And they're just like, I almost did it again, but not quite.
Mm.
But, you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, like, why can't you do a good one? And they're like, you know how annoying it is that you liked this the first time around, and everybody else bitched about it, and now all of a sudden everybody's acting like it's the greatest game since sliced bread and all that?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you know, it's like, yeah, that's GameCube. I will say that for, like, the billionth time. There's, like, so many people that are like, oh, man, I always loved the GameCube. It's like, no, it was, like, considered a flop for them.
It's between... I don't know, sometimes people get iffy on the DS and 3DS being considered consoles. If we are considering them consoles, which I do, they're handheld consoles, then those are definitely it for me. If we're not counting those, we're counting, like, stationary, like...
If we're counting connected to TV.
Yeah, then it's probably GameCube, but Switch is kind of getting up there now.
Yeah.
It's definitely close.
That does seem to be, like, a prevailing thing that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they really like the Switch.
Although a lot of the games that I really liked on the Switch aren't necessarily exclusives, so I don't know how much I can attribute to the Switch itself.
The worst part about the Switch is, well, durability, and yeah, I'm gonna just say a durability, because that's the issue. I was gonna say Joy-Cons, but it's a durability issue. But yeah, mine's broken once. Yours is still broken.
I'll probably fix it eventually.
But yeah, I wish they were too... They finally did one thing I wanted with the latest update, where, like, before the save files just went where they went, and now they're making it so that you can change, like, you can transfer between system and memory card, which is really cool, but I wish they had, like, 2 memory cards, so that way, you know, I could, like, organize between them. But that would involve them, you know, putting another, like,
you'd need, like, a
drive or whatever you want to call it. Well, allegedly, they said something, like, there were rumors that they were going to do a new one this year, but apparently, like, because of the way things are right now, can't talk... Well, I understand why we can't talk about it, but still. Because of reasons, they're not shipping as many units anymore.
Well, Switches are, like, sold out in most places.
Oh, a lot of systems are. At work right now, like... Yes!
Now you gotta make it back, too.
I don't know. It was the exact same junk. But yeah, anyway, like, her daughter wants, like, a Wii. And, like, apparently everybody's sold out unless you, like, cross state lines.
Yeah. And
it's just one of those, like, well.
Crazy. I could probably sell my consoles for a pretty penny.
Well, she was asking if, like, anybody, like, the one person at work, they were like, oh, I have 2 Wiis. And she's like, do you want to sell one of them? And apparently the answer was no. I'm not sure why.
Those are my Wiis.
Maybe she wanted to scalp them. But the point is, yeah. Well, apparently they were, like, for her kids who both moved out. So it's like, there's no real reason to, like, hold on to them, but she was holding on to them. Just die. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, everybody's, like, staying inside. Well, at least they should.
People should be staying inside. Not necessarily.
Like, I don't know how controversial an opinion that is at this point, but, like, people are just, like, going nuts. And, like, there's so many, like, just issues. Like, there's been several times the government's pulled some sort of shenanigans, and I'm like, will this be what gets people to lose their crap, right?
Oh.
Because, like, I pretty much think that you can do, like, a lot of horrible things to people as long as they're, like, content. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, like, I would have thought just stay inside, watch some Netflix. Would have been, like, you know, the part where people are like, you know what? I'm cool with that. Like,
The wire? What does the wire do? I guess I'm about to find out. Oh, it's just like a grappling hook that goes straight
yeah.
up.
But yeah, you know, like, and there's like a part of me that's like, you know, like, I understand for employment reasons why people are upset, but some of them are just like, I don't want to be inside, and that's the reason why I'm going to, like, start a riot or whatever.
Or
And
at the very least, you can still do recreational stuff. Some people just like to be upset.
It's just nuts to me. Like, this is, like, the easiest, you know, like, my job went back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to use the shield, and that'll get me through this, but I'm gonna be stubborn about it.
School's hasn't been terrible. A lot of the teachers are making it easy enough. Them rocks just keep coming.
Just keep coming, and they just keep coming. Coming. But
You're
yeah,
very
I don't
close
know.
to death. Are you just gonna throw
People
this
are
one?
just weird, okay? Like, I don't know. Like, this was not and they're, like, dramatizing it, too. Like, some people are comparing, like, the way they need to stay inside to, like, Anne Frank, and it's like, no, it's not. And then I saw something the other day, somebody, like, posted, like, I guess somebody posted an article being like, the people who are fighting against the stay-at-home orders are, like, this generation's, like, Rosa Parks, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, are these the same people who thought boomer was, like, the N-word for older people?
Are you gonna beat him? I'll be thoroughly impressed.
Nah, something is gonna screw me. Yup.
He gotcha.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I do wonder about, like, I don't know. And there's, like, another part of me that thinks, like, the biggest thing is that it's, like, there might not necessarily be a lot of stupid people out there. It might just be that the stupidest you know, like, the stupidest and, like, entitled people are, like,
Being the most vocal.
yeah, like, the loudest.
I mean, I think to an extent, like we were talking about fandoms and communities earlier, I think that might be the...
Law of large numbers.
Yeah. Like, for example, the Undertale. It's already been talked about. I want to say it's mostly over. I haven't seen anything about Undertale in forever. But, like, that fandom gets, like, a bad rap. Like, they are... People like, oh no, that Undertale fandom. Better keep away. But I think it's just because of how big the fandom itself is.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, the majority of them are weird people.
If there's, like, 100, you know, like, Undertale fans in a room, and then there's, like, one person who's like, can I tell you the entire story of it? You need to play it, but please let me spoil the entire game. And then the other guy's like, yeah, I draw, like, Rule 34 of Papyrus and Undyne. Then, you know, like, because they're gonna be the ones that are right up in your face, you're gonna be like, oh, these people, they're the worst.
And it must be, like, I almost feel bad for, like, the other people in the fandom. Because, like, then if you go out and you're like, oh, yeah, I like Undertale, people will be like, oh, I just remembered I have, like, laundry that needs to be done.
Well, like, I like Rick and Morty, and then, you know, I'm, like, looking at the Szechuan sauce thing, I'm like, you guys are freaking idiots. Like, so many of them, I'd love to talk Rick and Morty. Like, the overall point is, like, Rick is, like, the smartest person alive, but he has, like, so many, like, emotional issues. Like, he can't bond, like, he has trouble bonding with people and talking about, like, you know, his feelings and, like, you know, at one point, like, you know the Pickle Rick episode?
Oh, do I know Pickle Rick?
Funniest shit I've ever seen. Do you know, like, the whole premise of that?
No, I just know I've turned into a pickle, Morty. I'm Pickle Rick.
Yeah, like, the entire premise is they have to go to, like, family therapy, right?
Mm.
And, like, his daughter, like, their mom, she's like, you promised you'd go to the family therapy with us. He's like, oh, I would, but I'm a pickle, so I can't. And, like, and then he goes on this crazy, wacky adventure where he, like, overcomes all the odds, and it's just, like, it's incredible, don't get me wrong. Like, it's pretty impressive. But, like, then at the end, he's, like, finally just fed up with, like, everything that happens, and he just, like, shows up. Like, still as a pickle to the therapy, and the therapist is like, well, Rick, it's obvious that you're a very
There's
smart...
one in this hole.
Yeah. It's obvious that, like, they pretty much say something along the lines of, it's obvious you're a very smart man, but you just come up with dumb stuff to, like, get out of things because you're not comfortable talking about your, you know, like, feelings or, like, you know... Like, she pretty much calls him out on, like, all of the, you know, like, issues he has, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the only thing anybody... Like, they couldn't have spelled it out any more clearly than that. That, like, you know, Rick is brilliant, but he's, like, you know, kind of a sick guy in his head. Like, he's not emotionally healthy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, the only thing people took from that was, Pickle Rick, he's so smart! And it's like... Dude,
Szechuan sauce.
he's got, like... It's like, dude, you don't want to be like Rick. That's, like, the entire point. There was, like, another episode this season, which I guess this could be spoiler, right? But he has, like, in the episode, he has, like, this weird, like, there's this other planet, and he like, it's completely abandoned, and he has, like, a toilet there. And that's where he goes to just be alone and do his business, right? And, like, the one guy shows up, and, like, just uses his toilet. And so Rick gets, like, really upset, and he's like, if I find you again, I'm gonna kill you. And, like, the guy just, like, he's miserable, but interacting with Rick makes him happy. Mm. So he, you know, like, I'm so annoyed. Pretty much, like, he gets it in his head. I can't remember what the turning point is for him, but he gets it in his head that he's like, you know what? I'm miserable. This guy's miserable. We're gonna be friends. So he just keeps on coming back because he's, like, obsessed with becoming friends with Rick. And he just decides to, like, meeting Rick makes him decide to, like, just live life to the fullest, pretty much, right? And then Rick gets, like, really upset, and he, like, comes up with this plot to, like, just screw with him, and he goes to his office, and then they're like, oh, that guy? Oh, he's dead. He, like, went out and he did this thing he wanted to finally do, and it killed him, right? Like, some sort of extreme sport thing. I'm just gonna use the damn jet.
Oh.
Shit.
Well.
But, you know, like, the entire point is, like, and then Rick, like, can't let it go, pretty much, right? Like, he shows up to his funeral, and, you know, like, the guy's dad is there, and he's like, oh, you showed up to my, you know, kid's funeral. You must have been good friends with him. And he's like, no, I freaking hated that guy, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's, like, very obvious that, like, Rick did kind of like the guy and wanted to be friends with him, but, you know, like, he only knew how to be, like, antagonistic, so he couldn't express it and everything, and it was just another one of those things where it's like, this isn't healthy. Like, as smart as he is, it's not healthy, and that's, like, almost the entire point, that's, like, pretty much the entire point of the show. I think this takes...
What is the weakness?
I want to say drill.
But you're gonna save it?
Yeah, just in case.
Do you find multiple bosses in a row? Oh, you don't restore them between Wily Castle stages, right?
I don't think I do. But yeah, I don't know.
Uh-oh, telephone.
It's a good show, but people miss the point, is my point. Like, there's this other really, like, annoying thing. Like, there was this fan group that, like, popped up called, like, the Real Ricks, and they're like, we're the people who just... as intelligent as Rick would be if he were a real man. We don't get along with most people because we're just too smart for them. And it's like, oh, do you not realize, like, how stupid you sound? One, Rick is, like, impossibly smart. That's, like, the entire conceit of the show, right? So there's no way you're like him. And two, you're not supposed to want to be like him. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, at least one of the show's creators, either Justin Roiland or I think it's Dan Harmon, like, have come out and just been like, oh yeah, like, no one should want to be Rick. Ay. But anyway, that's me ranting about a fan base, because Undertale, I guess. I don't know how we got here.
Sans Undertale.
I completely forgot how we... Oh, damn it, you gotta
From
be...
Smash Ultimate.
Do I need just a little bit.
Oh, are you just gonna grind these guys until they give you the...
I just need to make sure I have enough jet.
There's a thing back there, wasn't there?
There is, but I need only like a sliver, and they were giving it to me before. You know what? I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
And if I'm off by 2 seconds, it just wasn't meant to be.
Oh, that guy's coming for you. Oh. Oh, no.
This is...
Oh, well, that was lucky.
That's right. This is where they frickin' I thought they didn't do this until Mega Man 5, but they frickin' like nerfed the rush jet. Before
Wait.
it's
Oh,
like,
you could go in any direction now. It
yeah,
just keeps going.
and now it's just like, well, you gotta go, and it's like I don't want to go. I can't remember if these are no, they're not insta death.
I thought you were good dead.
Yeah, so did I, but I wasn't.
They were not spikes. They were only spikes.
You know what? I don't need to take
Oh, wait, can you wire onto that thing or no?
this. No, because oh shoot, you have to be joking with me right now.
Oh, it's close.
Say psych right now.
How you get in there? Oh, you probably have to come back later.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. So,
Wire.
oh yeah, you want to know something that I watched recently that like everybody's obsessed with that I just was like I don't much care for?
Oh, what's it called? Tiger guy.
No, but it is a Netflix thing. Although it's an anime. But it involves furries.
Oh, I forget what it's called. It looks really dumb.
Beastars.
Yeah.
Like everybody's obsessed with it and I just like watched it and I was like, "Okay, why are you obsessed with this?" Like I don't know. I can't take it like I can't take it seriously. And like the bad part is like they start pretty much with like a cliffhanger and then they don't resolve it. So there's like a part of me that's like, yeah, I have to watch the second season to see what happens with this. And then there's like other just really dumb stuff with it that
You gonna go for the E-Tank?
yeah, I am. It drives me crazy, okay? It drives me flippin' dippin' crazy.
I saw people talking about it, and I saw it, and I was like, that definitely does not look like my type of anime, and I was like,
I think it's rated like TV MA, so mother would kill you.
Oh, so it's not all as innocent as Disney animals.
No, it's... Actually, I think that's Zootopia is DreamWorks, but still, there's just... If only there was some way I could get up there, with very little effort. Makes me feel like a secret agent. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too into it, because it would be, like, very heavily spoilery, but, like, I watched the entire thing, and I'm just like, this strikes me as something, like, a very, like, an edgy 15-year-old watch Zootopia.
Oh, I like this boss.
And then, you know, and then they're like, it'd be cool, yeah, this was good, but it'd be even better if there were, you know, if there was, like, sex and violence. And it's like, yeah, okay.
I thought it was just like a sports anime, but only...
No, it's like... The conceit pretty much is, like, there's, like, this world where there's, you know, like, animal people, furries, right? Like, you've seen the art style, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, in it, like, there's carnivores and there's herbivores. And, you know, like, carnivores aren't supposed to eat meat because that's people. Right? Pretty simple. But, you know, like, they have the natural instincts to want to eat people, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And, like, that's their entire society, and, you know, like, there's a part of me that's just like,
So
how
it's
did this
kinda-
society get made, right?
It's kind of like furry Tokyo Ghoul.
Maybe, possibly, I don't know.
Kaneki doesn't want to eat them humans, but boy, do they look tasty.
So, yeah, that's, like, that's partly that. And then, like, the other thing that's, like, really weird to me is, like, there's like a few oddball exceptions, but it seems like if you get married, like if you get emotionally involved with somebody, for like the most part, it's expected, like I guess to breed successfully, you have to be like the same type of animal.
That makes sense.
Well, it's just weird because like, could you imagine if our society, like essentially if that were our society, it'd be like, well, you're white, you have to marry a white person, and like not only that, but it'd be like imagine that's the way it is, and there's like only one white person in the school, so it's like, I guess I know who you're marrying.
Well, I don't know. I haven't watched the show, I couldn't say, but I would think it would be more like.
But yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's like, is this promoting, like, you know, I mean, one of the main plot threads is that the wolf likes the rabbit, of course. But it's like, is this just a society where you have to marry your own species and there's like only one of them in the entire town?
Doesn't the wolf like the rabbit in Zootopia too?
No, it's a fox, you dumbass.
Oh.
Anyway, we'll get back to like talking about something that isn't Beastars when I come back. Or maybe I will talk about it. I don't know.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time for the last leg of the Cossack stages and then all of the Wily stages. And in case it is a selling point for anyone, yeah, we do talk about Beastars a little bit more.